We're recording. So what is Gorilla Tactical?
So it's a company based in Pacific Northwest, and they kind of like specialize in like medical, it's part of like the medical part of the firearms community. They make like a whole bunch of like IFAKs, like individual first aid kits and stuff. They offer training and stuff. But God, I haven't like got anything from them other than that flag. But their IFAKs are like they're expensive as fuck. Like they're about like $200 for about the entire thing. Last I checked, I could be exaggerating that, but it was pretty fucking expensive. But it's got all like the Gucci shit. And it's not that hard to use either. You don't got to go through no fucking like doctor's training shit to like figure out how to like stop the bleed or whatever. It's pretty simple shit to use, but they're a good company. They're kind of apolitical, which is also a good thing too. They don't really they don't
Yeah,
really mix
yeah.
politics in it and shit, so that's always been a good thing.
If you were
But
to
they
compare that, no, you good. What were you saying?
what now?
No, I was saying, they're not like Black Rifle Coffee, who like gets a
Oh
partnership.
God, no, they're not no bro vet type. No,
You know what I'm
Jesus
talking
Christ.
about? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my, yeah, Black Rifle. Like, oh my God.
They sponsored Kyle Rittenhouse or some shit.
Yeah, dude. Groups like that, they just, I don't know, dude. It's always coffee too. It's always coffee, and I've never like understood that shit. It's just, I don't know, dude. It's that bro vet community. It's like a whole bunch of white guys who just sound like they got off before. Like, I was on Instagram and I was looking at the feed and like, man, I say shit like
Yeah,
that. Where
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like, oh my God, dude, like you're embarrassing yourself, man. Oh my God, you sound like you haven't left 2006, and it's fucking bad, dude. Oh my God, but
Damn
yeah,
goddamn moose. Like they'll just start saying shit like the wrong way. They'll use the wrong words.
it's just, dude, like they're shills. That's all they are. They're just whatever money I can get. It's like, oh, my kids are inheriting my money too, so there goes that generational PTSD. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, biggest example I can think of is Dakota Reigns, and he got on like Instagram, like I don't know, I think it was like a few months ago, and he was like, I see all these people training in kit, you know, y'all acting like not Kyle, y'all acting like Chris Kyle and Marcus Luttrell, acting like y'all fucking operators and shit, and everyone got in his ass and was just like, bro, one, not everybody can serve, and two, if people want to do that shit, then let them fucking do it. Don't be trying to criticize them for that shit too. It's so fucking hilarious because he got his ass chewed out on Instagram for that. He never posted anything like that ever again. It's just people like that, dude. It's just they are so fucking like they're so cringe. I don't know. They're loudmouth motherfuckers who just whatever it is, they have to express their views. They have to post something. They have no filter, and that's not a good thing. Especially when it comes to like firearms and stuff. Like it's not a, oh, you piss me off, I'm gonna kill you, but it's just you can piss someone off and you lose like the people that are looking up to you is like you're an influencer and stuff, and it's like you really taught me how to like do XYZ with my AR-15, but you just kind of shit on me, so fuck you. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I got a little ranty right there, but my bad.
It's all good. It seems as though like a lot of communities for a lot of things end up getting like sort of like infiltrated by like a certain type of like group of people
hmm
that just make it toxic. So for instance, like the Drain Gang community, like a lot of them are just end up for some reason like some fucking fan bases of rappers end up being like fucking white supremacists. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh
like
yeah,
even
dude.
Suicide
Suicide
Boys.
Boys is the same way. Oh my dude, the whole like fan base surrounding like Puya and Suicide Boys, like so many of them are Trumpies. It's not even. It's like I shit you not, bro. Like, dude, they're just like suburban white kids who just fucking they just like they're so enthralled. Like I think that's the word. They're just
They're
so
like, oh
like
my god, a white
enamored,
guy
I mean.
can rap and make it sound cool as opposed to Eminem. I mean, I get what they mean, but it's like none of like Puya, Suicide, no, not Puya. Puya's been doing this shit for a while, but Suicide Boys and Ghostmane and like all of them would be nothing without like Xavier Wolf and Space Ghost Perp. So like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But what were you saying?
Oh, it's just like, it's people like that that are just so enamored by like, oh, this like the funk community, you're rap about like guns, hoes, drugs and shit like that. That's just like the typical rap shit though. That's just what people are going to like rap about, for the majority of the part. But it's just people are so like enamored by it, especially like, suburban white kids, like, and not to diss on them, but like it's just they're just like, oh my god, like that is just so fucking cool. And then, like you talk to people that experience that shit, and like it's like, nah, man, it really ain't. Like for fuck's sakes, dude. Like I used to like speak at there's this program in my county called Youth Against Violence, and it was based around like making sure the youth don't fuck up and shit. And I used to speak on that shit too, and it was just like there would be like some old gang banging motherfucker too. It's literally the typical like I had a friend who got me into this shit. I spent time in prison. I got fucked up in there. Now I'm here working a bum ass job at KFC. It's
Yeah.
so fucking common too, especially in Georgia. Not even, it's so common in the South. I mean, I have like so many fucking friends who like just go in and out of like Georgia State Penitentiary, and it's just like, you know, they'll go in, typical fucking like, oh, I don't want to do like, oh, I'm scared, but they come out like hard and fucking gangsters, bro, tabbed up and shit too. Like I have a friend, he was white, typical like, this dude is like he went in like a vegan liberal, and he came out like
Ah.
swastikas everywhere and shit, and
Oh
like
God.
he's a fucking like he's terrifying now, and it's just like I'm like, dude, like, man, you was cool. I don't I'm sorry for what happened to you, but like, God, man, that shit that fucking sucks, dude. Like,
It's like that one
so
TV show when like the Vikings like they invaded the town and then now everybody's like a Viking. Like the lifestyle just sometimes like certain
yeah.
lifestyles can consume anyone. You
Well,
know,
what it is, and like, and I've never been to prison, thank God. But what goes around this system is like, have you ever seen the movie Shot Caller?
nah.
So it basically involves like this, this stockbroker. He like gets involved in DUI and he goes to prison. He like gets in a riot and shit. He like serves more time and shit. But the whole focus on that is like you either choose to be the victim or you choose to be the warrior. And the victim is like either get raped, you get killed and shit like that. But the warrior is like, oh, you have to kill people in this shit. You have to like earn your blood and shit like that. And it's just like there is no in between. The in
Mm.
between is still leading towards the victim because you're lone wolfing that shit, and that just doesn't work in like prison and shit like that. It was like that was like a similar experience to rehab for me. Like people would like automatically click up and shit, and like if you're like
Yeah.
trying to be like, oh, I'm just trying to get through the program and shit like that, it's just like nah, because like someone's going to bust your balls over some shit, and if you're an adolescent, it's even worse. Because you can't tell like, oh, is this dude fucking with me or is he joking? So you automatically punch the kid, and you're just like getting tackled and shit, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
happened more times than I can count when I was like into that shit. But it is what it is, man. People just you can hear all the shit about people going like, they'll go in prison, come out, and then they go back in, and it's just like this revolving cycle because at the end of the day, that is what they know. That is what they turned into. It sucks, but that's just what happens today. So
Yeah, damn. Like yeah, and I know people that go into rehab and it's like it's very like it's very hard to even like get through it in the first place. Like I know a friend and he probably has been in it like 2 to 3 times, and like just this year was his first time ever graduating one. And I think he's
yeah,
been in and out of rehab since he was like 17. He's like 20 now. You know what I mean? Like
well,
that shit's like
yeah.
hard.
And
Like
what happened with me was like, we went through like a whole assortment of shit, and like first it was like the outpatient shit. Then I said some fucked up shit, and I get put into inpatient. God, there was this hot ass chick in there too. God, she had a kid and everything, bro. Like,
yeah,
and then like months later, I go into like an inpatient facility for like 2 weeks because the insurance was cut short and shit. That's at least that's what they said to me. But they were like, "You're staying in here for a couple months," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, dude, my life is over and shit like that." But like, they explained like, here's your condition, here's what you said was wrong with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you double portions of food for every fucking meal. Um, and I was like, what the fuck is the point of that? What am I supposed to like eat my fucking addiction away or some shit, or am I supposed to eat my emotions away? And I was like, it was funny because it would give you like whatever, like for breakfast it would usually be like eggs and sausage and biscuits and shit, but then they bring me an extra one of like fried chicken, and I was like dude, this is terrible. I love the food, but this is terrible, man. And
Yeah.
I got in like so many fights in there too and shit, and they like put me in isolation and shit. It was just, oh my god, it was so fucked up. Um, and I had like this gay roommate too, and he would just like, I would be asleep, and this dude would just be like on the other side, just like beating off and shit. I'm just like, fuck, dude, can you like, bro? It's so fucking funny, man, because I'm just like, oh my god, people in there, they just get they especially when you're an adolescent or whatever, like you feel like your life is over in some sense, and you're just like, God, well, like it's anarchy for me now. I can do whatever I want. Um, if I get whatever from the fucking MHTs or whatever, that's whatever because I'm in here for God knows how long. So, in the discharge process, according to my parents and shit, it was just a fucking nightmare. Um, and it's just the bureaucracy of everything and the paperwork and shit like that, and then like they'd be like, obviously, like, oh, we'll prescribe this medication. We suggest you doing this program, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm fucking good. I got school to do.
What did you go to
So
school for, or was it just finishing high school?
I was finishing high school. I was in alternative school at the time because I like threatened the resource officer and like the teacher I had because she called my mom a bitch, and it was that was just like alternative school for me was like fucking amazing because like everything's online. Um,
Like
so
now?
yeah, so I was telling people in this whole thing when the COVID started, I was like, man, y'all should be fucking glad, dude. I had a blast doing this shit, bro. I go to school 8 to 11, and I do whatever pace I worked at, right? The day after our spring break, I finished all my assignments. I told my teacher, and she goes, well, I guess you can go home now. You know what I mean? Like just come back and like the end of May, get your diploma and stuff, and it's right there. It was given by the actual high school and not some fucking county shit. And I was like that I actually like that better than like the granted by the county and shit because like that's my fucking high school. You know what I mean? Um, the teachers there were super fucking nice. But I don't know, dude. It's just something about I don't if I never went to alternative school, I just don't think I would have ever like passed in there. And that was my senior year, so I was just like, this is kind of like my God save right here. This is kind of like God telling me, like, nah, like, yeah, just do this and get it over with, and you'll be fine. Just trust me on this. So just put in the work and shit, and finished like early April and shit, and that was it. And I was like, got nothing to do for months and months until I had to find a job. So yeah,
What'd you do out of high school? Like, what was the first moves?
like, well, like talking about
With your
work or just like
life,
what?
work, life,
Oh,
relationships, what is it?
I was just like, looking for jobs and shit, and like I just started. Restaurant jobs were easy as fuck to like get into, and I was working at this pizza place, and like during that time, I was like, still, I was like dabbling in music still for about like fucking a year at the time, and at this pizza place I worked at, there was this guy. His name, I got shout out. His name is Nick and shit, and he's part of a band in Atlanta called Lethal Tender. But he was just like giving me tips and shit. Not on like what to do, but he's like, dude, I'm old as fuck. The only thing I tell you is like what not to do. And so far, it's difference between being told like what not to do with the music shit and being told what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't fallen off, I guess. I haven't downgraded my fucking quality of the music. It's just shit's kind of it gets stale and then just gradually goes up and up and up and up and up. But he's just like, don't do this, bro. Don't do
What did he
that.
tell you not to
You know.
do?
Well, first he told me like, it was more of an integrity thing. He was just like, don't jump at the first thing of whatever people offer you. You know what I mean? Whether it be like features, because like you don't know these people, or you getting booked for a show, quote unquote, but you really have to pay for the tickets, and if no one shows up, then that's out of your pocket and shit like that. All that stuff is like, because I was just like, Man, yeah, man, like I emailed this venue and stuff, and they said they could hook me up and stuff, and they're like, he's like, don't fucking do that, don't do that, because you have no one that listens to your shit, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, there you go, they don't have open mics at that place, you know what I mean? So I'm just, he was like harsh as hell, but it was warranted, you know what I mean? So I was kind of like, I kind of consider him like the first mentor and stuff because like the Atlanta punk scene, you know, those guys in there are like 30, 40 years old and stuff, then they'll be telling stories about like the late 90s and the early 2000s. Like, oh my God, like we opened for like Outkast before they fucking, got big and shit. And they were big into heavy metal and all that shit. And they were like, yeah, fuck yeah, like let's do it. Or, yeah, like we tore shit up at like at the Masquerade a few years back and shit like that. And they'll have all these wild stories, and now they're all just like old ass denim vests wearing bikers and shit. And it's like, wow, y'all became those people, huh? So,
It
but
seemed like it was
I
fun
mean,
to like hear that though before you really got into it. And seemed like it helped a little bit.
it did because again, I've never, I've never put money towards a show that like I knew I wasn't going to get out of. I haven't even like the only show I ever did was like an open mic with Sly. And like that was it. I don't have a fan base like a physical fan base here in Atlanta besides my friends, but at the same time, what am I gonna do for like 30 minutes or some shit hopping around on the stage when there's three people in front of me, you know? That's kind of the beauty about, the internet or whatever is like your fan base when you're doing all this shit, it's everywhere from like Texas to California to Mongolia and shit like that. So I mean,
Yeah,
what the fuck are you gonna do? Tell them, hey, y'all need to pull
Russians.
up to Georgia, and it's just like, archive email, whatever it may be. So, but it's stuff like that where he was really just like, they're a walking example of don't jump the gun, um, and just, you know, there are some venues here in Atlanta, especially ones that do like specialize in like punk or whatever, and they'll just charge you on top of like charge you on top of like, oh, I'm charging you for at least being on the stage, I'm charging you for the tickets, I'm charging you for the time slot that you're going to be in, I'm charging you for the amount of songs you're going to play and shit. Finding like shit to do here is just so fucking hard. I don't, I see people like doing shows here in Atlanta. I'm like, kudos to you. Like, I want to know who the fuck you're connected to, because shit here is just
Yeah,
like people are so fucking greedy. You know what I mean? And like the punk community is supposed to be wholesome. They're supposed to be like cool. They're supposed to be like, nah, we don't care about that shit, bro. Just come on and play. Nah, they want to shill the fuck out of you. I mean, I get it. People have lives to live, but it's just like, man, y'all kind of fucking boomers about this shit, bro. So
yeah.
it's it's fucked, but I mean, it is what it is. But yeah.
Did you start with punk music or did you always start with rap music?
Mm-mm. I was always like rap music. I remember like early 11th grade, I want to say. So I tell people 2016 because I like having that 5 years to me, but it makes me sound like kind of a knucklehead. So like I think it was like mid 2017, late 2017, something like that. And I was into skating at the time. And me and these couple guys were like, oh, like, let's make like a clothing brand and shit. And the guy made, I want to say the guy like had everything laid out and stuff. He was just like, it'll be cool to have like a music aspect to it. And like they're just like, I see you got the Zoomies gold chain and everything. You're like, yeah, how about you give it a shot? I was like, all right. So, I was at the time I was listening to like Raider Clan and shit, like all fucking heavy and shit. Like,
What's your favorite
um,
Raider Clan member?
probably Nell.
Mm, nice.
Mm.
My top three would be Wolf, Fuegod, and Perp.
I fuck with Perp. I mean, I have to fuck with Perp obviously, but it's just like Nell, like that. It's just his style of shit was just like, and his voice too. Like God, his voice was just like it reminded me of like so many people from here. Like, it was, like not a squeaker,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
voice was just high enough. It was just like, man, he sounds like he's from Atlanta or some
One
shit.
of my favorite songs with him is like one that he carries, and it's off Black Man's Wealth with Perp. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. You might know what I'm talking about, but
Yeah,
it's No Trouble with Nell. It's so good, bro. Like I'll send you a link to that, bro. But
I think
continue.
my favorite song from him it probably had. I want to say 275 is a team, but everyone's like, everyone fucks with that song. So I'm probably going to say Break Your Cell Part 2. I sample that shit and like it ain't glorious because like that melody was just something else. But
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, like they needed someone to rap on that like website or whatever they were making. So I was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. So I like went on YouTube and searched up like Raider Clan, Suicide Boys, Puya, like Space like free type beats and shit. Found it, made my first little shitty song, put it out, got 10 views in a night, and it was literally two guys like, oh yeah, I fuck with this shit, and it's just like, I'm like, oh man, this shit's fucking dope, dude, and like, these guys, like, there was this one dude, he's a fucking asshole, fucking bitch. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
He would take my phone during class and like mimic or imitate my lyrics or some shit.
Oh
Everyone
God. Oh my
I was
God.
just like, you piece of shit, man.
Yeah, bro. When I started videos, people would like go up to me in school and be like, "Is that Mike Hass or some shit?"
God, man.
Yeah.
And they would always do that like voice too, like, is that so and so? And I'm just like, God, you piece of shit, man. Oh my God, I hated it.
Yeah.
Especially
I prefer the more like chill energy. We're like, "Oh yeah, you do that. You do music. Your name's Mad Snake, right?" Yeah, and I'm like,
Well,
yeah.
I was always an irritated motherfucker. So I was like, yeah, like what about it, bro? Like, yeah. So I was always like almost picking a fight, and they're just like, a couple of them would be like, I see what you're doing, like keep it up, And those people are genuine. They're genuine as fuck. But there'd be other people who just clown that shit, and it's whatever. I mean, I see you working at McDonald's still, so I mean, it is what it is.
Bro,
But
bro, you ever seen like the McDonald's people that work at like 3 a.m. with like no teeth?
oh my God, dude.
Bro, you know what I'm talking about?
There's a McDonald's in like the town over from me where I live, and it used to be open 24 hours a day. I don't know if it still is because of COVID, but I walked in there for dining one day, and there was like nobody at the register. It was like all open and shit. Lights were on. I was like, nobody here. This baggy ass old lady walks in and was like, "What you want?" And I was just like,
Yeah, I know that voice.
and she
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, okay. Give me a couple minutes." And it took about like 20, and like I got the nuggets. They were cold. They were raw. They were raw a little bit on the inside, and I took a bite of it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go to the gas station and get Cool Ranch Doritos, man. I know that I'm just. This is just. I will. It's in line with the place I'll never go to at night, like Walmart.
Spooky.
The old ass gas stations in like west side of Atlanta. I will
Yeah.
never go to those places at night. Not because they're sketchy, but it's just because like, dude, the service will be terrible, dude. That's all it is. I'm used to going to places at night. It's just those people will be like just so fucking tired of life, and I'm just like, I don't want to bother you anymore. I'm sorry,
The best time to get like the best service for like people that work at like either a restaurant, or gas station, or any of that shit is like early morning. Everybody's a little bit tired, but they're still like
Mhm.
get their coffee in. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But like the worst
Yeah,
times would be like around 4 to 5 because everybody's about to clock out,
yeah,
and then like about like 9 to 10, everybody's about to clock out. But like sevens, it's always like whenever someone's already been in for like an hour or they just get there. I don't know, but
yeah. Waffle House is kind of like it's not as bad as that because like they still they have like the rotating shifts thing and like um but what it is like you know obviously when you imagine Waffle House you don't imagine a clean place to eat, you imagine something dirty, somewhat somewhat food wise and sanitary, whether it be a little bit of a raw bacon or something like that. You're talking about like a cigarette smoking redneck who probably has ashes coming out of his beard dropping on your waffle and shit. But I'm telling you, man, that is the best food to eat for breakfast
yeah,
because it's just,
yeah.
especially at night too, when you're a little bit high, you're a little bit hungover and shit, bro. You're just like, oh man, I need
What's the one meal that they have with everything on it?
with the one meal they have, like the All Star
Yeah,
special.
dude, that shit,
Mhm.
bro. I can go for an all
God,
star right
dude.
now. Shit.
I remember when I first got when I got the first vaccine, and I was with my girl at the time, and I was I was just like, you know what? Maybe I think I just need food. I think because I was like feeling like how I was feeling shitty as fuck, and I was like having the shakes. I was having a fever and shit. I was like, God, this shit feels like back fucking having withdrawals and shit, bro.
You're about to make me
like, okay, we'll
reported
go to
for
Waffle
vaccine misinformation. You're about to make me be reported for vaccine misinformation. Some things about to come up and be some icons about to come up on the screen and be like, you did not feel that way.
this whole minute's gonna be a.
Yeah, it's gonna be like silent. It's fine. Continue. Yeah.
But I ordered like an all-star. Excuse me. I ordered like an all-star special, 2 waffles and like 2 sides of bacon or some shit. And I couldn't even finish the eggs. I started on the eggs and I couldn't even finish them. And I felt so fucking pitiful. And I was just like, babe, I'm sorry. And I felt like I was about to throw up in the parking lot. And I was looking at this ranch sauce packet on the parking lot. And I was just like, if this is gonna make me throw up, it needs to happen like right now and not in my fucking truck. You know what I mean? This has to happen in the parking lot so it'll blend in nice. But man, I was just like, God, like it's I don't know, dude. And like the Waffle House, like that I would go to at night, is just, you know, all they do is to goes now. So it's just like, oh, I can't.
That's disappointing. I said that's disappointing, yo. Like I feel like people have moved on from that shit.
They don't. Oh my. Jesus Christ! Yeah, this is the one thing I hate about Google, because I'll always like look at her, like searching a restaurant before I go to it. Like, is it open? Was it open for now? Waffle House, it, you know, never changed. Still 24 hours a day, dining, everything. But then like I'll go there and I'll pull into like not the parking lot, but I'll like be on the street and I'll see it, and then I'll be like, oh, there's no cars. Fuck, man. So I'll take a chance and park and be like, you open for dining? No, we open for to go. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. Guess I'm going to Del Taco tonight.
Shit. Damn.
Sometimes that doesn't work either. So I'm just like, I guess I'm going home. So, I mean, it's just, I don't care what people was like, oh, you just eat something at home. It's like, nah, I mean, you got to satisfy those cravings somehow, man. Whether it be fried food or waffle, I don't know. You got to satisfy those cravings, you know? So,
I got a question, though. Do y'all have Wawas down there?
I don't know what Wawa's is.
What?
No. Where do you live?
Delaware.
Oh, see that? God, no, man. I don't know what the fucking.
All right, Royal Farms. Royal Farms.
Hmm?
Do you know what a Royal Farms is?
I've heard the name.
Y'all have 7-Elevens.
We have like 7-Elevens in like the super fucking rural areas of Georgia.
Yeah, where in Georgia are you at though?
I live like a little bit west of Atlanta.
Did you grow up there?
Yep, I was born in Daytona Beach. Stayed there for 5 days. Then I moved to, Georgia, and just been here my entire life. So.
Yeah. So Slyye's out there, right? So like, you've linked up with Slyye? Like, when did you first meet Slyye?
So I met Slyye in like late 2019, and I was like just getting back into doing music, like more of a priority type thing. I dropped a track with Dizzy DMT. Shout out to him. I don't know where his ass is at, but it is what it is. That was popping off, just a little bit. I considered 400 views popping off, but that was me at the time.
Yeah.
But there was, I was on Twitter. I was trying to get more active on Twitter because, like, someone told me, like, you need to get active on Twitter because more artists, like, they post more on there, they interact more on there with their fans than they do on Instagram. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want on Twitter. It's like, I can see it. So I was like, all right. So I started following, just the Doom Shop people. Started following, like, Akuma Clan. I started following.
Hey, Akuma Clan, yeah.
I followed, Dizzy DMT, Levels was taken, rest in peace, Levels. People like those. But I followed this guy called DRX Slash, and I cannot not shout him out. Shout out his ass, bro. He really brought people together. Like this dude. Like if it wasn't for him, some people wouldn't have the connections that they have today. But he was like, he posted something on Twitter, and it was like, I'm making a group chat, comment or like if you want to be put on or some shit. So I did that, and he put everybody in, and this was like, it was like me, it was Slyye, it was Levels, there was this guy called Dylan is Dead, the Skirt was in there, D-Rex, I'm Trash as Fuck, I want to say Black Sheep was in there. I could be wrong though, but it was people like that, you know, people that like. Oh, and I think Young Banshee was in there too. I could be wrong, but I thought Young Banshee was in there.
Shout out to Banshee.
Hmm?
I said shout out to Young Banshee.
Yeah, that dude's cool as fuck. Yeah, he's cool as fuck. But anyway, Sly, I don't know what the conversation was, but he was like, "Yeah, I live like outside of Atlanta," and I was like, "Oh, I gotta hit his ass up." So I hit him up, and I'm like, "Yo, what part of Atlanta you live in?" He's like, "Marietta." I was like, "Word, that's about like 30 minutes from where I live. You trying to link?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we went over there. You know, we went to a mall in the area. We met up and shit. I was with another guy at the time too. And we just like it was awkward as fuck at first, you know, and you could ask him that too. It was just it was so
Yeah.
fucking weird, man. But you know, ever since then, like it's just it's become what it is now. You know, that dude's my motherfucking brother. He's seen me at my lowest. He's seen me at my highest. He's pushed me so fucking hard with the music shit, and like he's taught me so much, and like he's helped me a lot, not just with music, but with my personal life too. Without him, I'd probably be bigger than I am, but you know, because of him, like I work out some way, shape, or form every single day now. Um, you know, it's just nowadays we're more on like a like on this like level where it's like we don't even do music. We just like fuck around on YouTube and shit like that, and we'll just watch like SpongeBob videos or some shit like that, or we'll smoke a bit, or we'll drink a bit, whatever it is, and like
Yeah.
that dude's just he's the coolest dude. Like he's probably the best human being that I've ever known.
Does he do
He's
CrossFit or
genuinely fun.
something?
Hmm?
Does he do like CrossFit? Like, what do you mean? Like, does he work out a lot?
Yeah, like there was like a period when like I would like call him sometimes like, yo, I'm at the gym right now. What's up?
Oh
Shit
yeah.
like that. But you know, I don't know what he does now, but he does like Muay Thai and shit now. You know, so he was like, you need to get into that shit too. I'm like,
What's
I'll
that?
consider it. So
What is it though?
Muay Thai,
Yeah. What is that?
it's like MMA, like the
Oh
UFC.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh nice. Damn, bro.
Yeah.
He's getting
Dude's like,
saucy.
dude, just cool as fuck, man. Yeah, I honestly, man, I half want him to just call me like, walk up to me like, God, you're a fat, lazy, love-tarded piece of shit. You know that, man? Just be like, I
Yeah.
need that inspiration. like,
Yeah.
oh, like me and him will just joke about everything together. Like again, just coolest human being that I've ever known. Shout out to Sly, love you, man. Fuck yeah, man. So,
All right. I got a question about fuck a hoe. You did
mm,
that. You did that with him. What's your
yep.
favorite verse on a rendition of that sample or beat? It could be the Suicide Boys version. It could be the squeaky version, like the original one, or the version you did with Sly. What's your favorite?
Rob, if so, I'd probably have to say for the OG song, probably Criminal Man's verse. I can't understand shit of what he's saying, but that voice is just it's something else, man. But that is probably that. For the Suicide Boys one, I'd probably have to say Scrims. Um, you know, just I don't know, dude. This was before like his voice got like super fucking deep and shit, but it was raspy. He was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like he just came at that shit the right way, and then Black Smurf like finishing at the end, it was just like, man, that was a rap, you know what I mean? That was like I don't know. So I don't know. I'm probably at a cross between like you know Black Smurf's verse and like Scrims, but well, I mean I'd probably go for Scrims, but
Yeah.
for between us, between me and Sly, I'd probably say his verse probably like takes it all. But like there's a couple lines of mine like that I'm just like, dude, like those shits are fucking memorable. Like Asian hoes go sucky sucky fucky fucky same time next week and shit like
Yeah.
that and. Oh my god, dude! I got a few comments from like some of those like they them motherfuckers who are just like that shit's fucking racist and shit like that. And I'm just like
Bro.
cry about it, laugh.
I I like lines about like Asian girls. Like one of my I was just listening to like Unknown Death 2002 in the intro. Young Lean's like Asian. I was like fuck Vietnamese hoes every day. Like that shit. Like I love that shit. Like let's and Drake has one on Over My Dead Body that actually samples DJ Screw. But he was like, shout out to Asian girls, let the lights dim some.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Man, I don't know, like that entire line was just I remember because I was watching like Full Metal Jacket like repeatedly, and
Yeah.
it's that one Asian chick, and I this is the Mandela effect, because I don't know if one of those chicks said sucky sucky fucky fucky, but wait, actually it was probably one of the Marines. I think it was one of the Marines that said that, but it was just like, man, that shit just stuck. And culturally, you in high school, there'd be those people who have like make edgy jokes about the Vietnam War, and then they'll like add like the fucking Asian horror, reference and shit like that. And it's just, I don't know, shit like that just kind of stuck. I mean, not no racist shit or anything, but it's just like that shit was just fucking funny at the time. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then there was like, I referenced like an ex like friends with benefits of mine on that shit too, and she hit me up and she's like, "So you really gonna call me out on that shit?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So it's just in like, oh my god, dude, oh my god, I'm not gonna get into it, but it was just like, it's shit in there. I was just like, God, I gotta add this retarded shit in there. Meanwhile, I'm talking about past experiences, and Sly's talking about like actually having sex with a bitch, and I'm just like, man, bro, jeez, I don't know, bro. This shit's something just like, God, man.
Yeah.
That shit is so funny as fuck, and like, we'll be telling each other stories and shit. I'm just like, man, this shit's fucking real. This shit is fucking real too, man. I mean, it's just that those like few lines of my verse just like take it all, I think. But like his entire verse is fucking amazing. So, and we both made that beat too. I literally, I literally made, I did the sample. Obviously, I'm not gonna credit myself for making the sample, but I did the sample. I did the the drum pattern and shit. But like he made the bass, and like if you listen to the song, like the bass is just so fucking groovy and shit, and it's fucking amazing, dude. Because when I made the bass, I made it with fucking headphones. Like those little cheap like those
Yeah.
J Buds headphones or whatever from like Office Max and shit.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, I was like, oh yeah, this sounds good and shit. And I sent him the FLP because I remember I was like in his room at the time. I sent him the FLP, and he opened it and he played it, and the bass hit, and it was just. It was just like, I was just like, oh fuck, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off and shit. And
Yeah.
he looked at me with a disappointing look. I was just like, all right, all right, all right, do what you want to it, man. And then he did, and he showed me how to do it. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, man, this shit's fucking dope. So
Yeah.
that was, yeah. And then I don't know, I want to say that's, last I checked, that was like the best song that was being done on like my SoundCloud and shit. People were like liking that shit and reposting, commenting every day on it. So yeah, I can't wait to actually like play that shit on a stage or something in front of a bunch of people and just get everybody fucking moving. Because I'm like, I know with that beat, with those, I'm like, dude, some action's gotta happen. It's gotta happen, man. So
My favorite verse is probably the Tom Ski Mask, and then whoever was the first verse on the Suicide Boys version.
I think it was Ruby.
Yeah. So yeah, and then
I don't know, but Ruby's verse was kind of like, I don't know. It sounded kind of bland to me. I don't know, it just sounded so fucking.
I like
monotone.
it's for me. It sounded like sincere. It wasn't trying to be hard. Like he was just like, before I die, I want you by my
Yeah, it makes
side.
sense. All right, I can see it like that now. Yeah, yeah.
And actually, I just was That's actually the first time that they ever collaborated with Black Smurf.
It was that. Yeah, I remember like watching the No interview. No, not the No Jumper interview about, and like heard the story about it. And I was like, it's weird because like there'll be times where I just like I'll see, and I don't know if it's like a glitch with my phone or some shit. I'll see like because they have so many fucking projects with Black Smurf and shit, and it's just they have so many songs with him, and it's just
Brooklyn's my favorite. The song with Black Smurf. I think it's pretty good.
Man, mine will probably have to be, and so it was, or probably Smoke Break. I'd probably say and so it was because like Black Smurf sound like Gucci Mane and that shit, and I was just like, man, I respect that shit, man. That shit sounds so fucking dope, man. But oh man, I don't know.
Mine's Grayscale actually. I changed my mind. Grayscale, you know that one?
Yeah, Beethoven's pretty hard too. Oh God, what else? I do like Brooklyn. I sampled that too.
You sampled that? That's cool. On what song?
All Walk. It was literally just like slowed down, or I think I pitched down the vocals on like an old song for that. It was literally just a filler song. But man, if I could like replace, because it's on Spotify too, if I could replace like the file for that, I would, because I'm like, I know I could have done that better.
I
Um,
made a beat. I made a song with Eamon, Full Metal Nicky, and Dead Boy John, and I produced that. It was called Domination, and I wanted to sample it, but I was thinking, no, I'm just gonna make a similar melody with the same sort of
mhm,
chord progression. That
mhm,
so I just kind of did that, but I did it with like a guitar, with like a harp, like a dark harp guitar synth
mhm,
layered with a
yeah,
piano, like a gothic
mhm,
piano, and
yeah,
it turned out being a really good fucking beat, and it sounded like really different and
mhm.
shit. And that was one of my
I
favorite
could.
posse cuts I've ever made with my group, the Circle of Serpents, and
Mhm.
shit.
I could just do that for the life of me. I could never ever make a melody, because every time, like, every time I make a fucking melody, it automatically, it just sounds like something that I've heard, and like
Yeah,
it's so easy to like make something unoriginal when it comes to a melody, especially when it's just like, do 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 and shit like that. It's just like, oh, everyone's done that shit. You know what I mean? But then you think, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, and you're like, in the back of your head, you're just like, where have I heard this from? Oh God, I had this song on repeat a couple days ago. It's probably that. So it's just, for me, it was just, oh, I could never fucking do it, and maybe that's my own lack of creativity. But at the same time, I could also say, oh, I love sampling, because you can do whatever the fuck you want with samples.
but there's
Um,
the thing where it's sort of like you are cut off to an extent. I made a song with the sample like street that I can't swerve on it, and there's a cowbell melody in the background. So what I had to do is I had to recreate the cowbell melody just off of listening to it, and I did successfully do that. So I was able to make the beat different and isolate the acapella from the cowbell melody, so I could actually like make something like a little bit different. So I'm saying like sampling is fun and it's way more like manipulatable, but at the same time it's not. You know what I mean?
what I've done for a couple of, like, beats where I've tried to make the melody or whatever. What I would do is like, um I'll be listening to a song like on repeat, and I would try to copy the melody. So what I'll do is like, I would download it from like an MP3, like YouTube MP3 type thing.
Yeah.
Download it, put it on FL Studio, chop out that one little bit, and I would just like layer like citrus or something over it, and just try to like, try to match like the chords and stuff or whatever. Try to like match like the melody and stuff, and it'll come out good. And like, there will be some times where like I actually like get it like pitch perfect and shit, and I'm just like, okay, now I'm going to like drag this one down, I'm gonna move this up, see how it sounds. Okay, it sounds better. Let me try this part, let me try this, let me take this out, let me add this, stuff like that. And it's just like, that ain't so bad, you know what I mean? At the same time though, again, like, something about sampling, and I'm not saying it as a cop out or anything, but it's just like, something about sampling is just, it's so fucking nice to do, because like, again, and like, you can do whatever you want with it. And
Yeah.
I get so sick of people being like, oh my god, when Fuckaho came out too, like, we had so many comments saying, oh, you guys trying to be like Suicide Boys and stuff like that. And I would just be like, oh my, oh Jesus Christ, man, bro, like, I'm just like, that's the first people you think of when you hear the song. I mean, I get it, Suicide Boys is pretty big, but like, look at the OGs and shit too, bro. Look at like DJ Squeaky and Tom Ski Mask and DJ Zerk, bro. You can't be forgetting them. Quit trying to compare us to Suicide Boys because we want to sample something that we like. You know,
What sucks about
I,
the
I
Suicide Boys version is how not different it is from the original version. Like your guys had like a way better drum pattern than the Suicide Boys version.
that's what people have told us. Like, the comments like we get that were like, give like constructive criticism or something like that, was like, you guys did the beat pattern way better than like the original. And it's like, and we would listen to it, and then we would compare that to like the Suicide Boys track, and then like the DJ Squeaky track, and just be like, yeah, this is better. Not because, obviously, like, production wise, you can sound better than a '90s artist any fucking day, but it's just like, you know, that was at a time that was my favorite song from Suicide Boys, and it's just like, I would hear a song from them and I would sample it and I would be like, I can do this better. At least I think I can do this better. Um,
Yeah.
there's other samples too, like like Bones or stuff like that, or like Crystal Castles like samples and shit. And it's just
Bro,
like
I love Crystal Castles, bro.
oh my
What?
god, dude,
Yo.
Baptism is probably my favorite song by them. But at the same time,
I'm gonna
that's
sample
one
them.
song with Robert Smith, and it's called "Not in Love," and it's just man, that shit makes you feel some type of way. That came out in like 2000. Oh man, I want to say it was either 2011 or before. But they're a dope couple people. But it's just I don't know, dude. It's just like the whole thing about sampling, and it's so fucking. It's more accepted now, I think. Because like with sampling, like so many people do it now. It's just like fuck it, everyone's doing it, so I'm gonna do it. You know
I've
what I
only
mean?
ever
So
sampled clear. I've only ever gotten a sample cleared once in my like year of doing music, and it's this guy on Sony. He had like I sampled like a vaporwave song, and he like cease and desisted my thing off DistroKid, and I just emailed him. I was like, "Yo, can I put back up the album that it was on without your song?" And he was like, "Nah, you're good, bro. I'll just clear it for you."
mhm.
But yeah, bro, like everything else I've sort of done unapologetically. Like I've sampled Drake, I don't know how many times. Like just like fucking random Drake melodies. Like I just don't give a fuck. Like I've sampled straight up headlines, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's just like DistroKid. I'm so glad DistroKid does not give a fuck and doesn't have like an automatic censor.
I don't. That's the thing too, because like it's weird because it's like I can put up a legit copy of a song through DistroKid, but when I want to add my old music from like a previous alias to my current DistroKid, they're like, "Fuck, like no, fuck that, like you can't have that on there," and
Yeah,
shit
bro.
like that.
Yeah, I know what you
I'm
mean.
so lucky, when I like before, I was on Twitter and shit. I had this EP called Sinister South, and there was a song called Interstate Pimpin', and the original version of that, it was a legit copy of Shrimp Po' Boy by Suicide Boys. SoundCloud like took that shit off like immediately, and but I was kind of like over the couple years and shit. We made a Bags remix, Muerte, complete fucking copy of like the entire sample and everything. I didn't say shit about that. You know what I mean? So it's shit like that where it's just like what the fuck are they on about it? Because like and I'm lucky that I've never had like someone like trying to get at me at my pockets and shit because oh you use my sample and shit like that, and it's just like I'm lucky that hasn't happened to me yet. But at the same time, it's just like that fear of like you need to be stepping on eggshells when you sample. It's still there in some cases, but at the same time, I'm at the point now where every single song that I upload on SoundCloud, I do it on private because either way, on private or public, SoundCloud's going to strike it if it's unclear or not. At least if it's on private, no one's like disappointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but now I'm just like, that's kind of the good sort of trauma when it comes to like SoundCloud and shit is like, oh, I have to I start putting everything on private, and then I realize no, people actually do that on a regular basis and stuff because they'll upload songs and save it for later. Um, I have like so many fucking songs I have private and shit, and I'm just like I will never unprivate them because they're probably shitty as fuck, or I just don't feel like excuse me, releasing them. But I guess they're cleared with the samples that I use and stuff, and even in the funk community, it's just like you can sample something out of Smoked Out, you can sample something out of Fuck a Hoe, Ryan and Chevy, shit like that. It's just like that shit's not taken down. You know what I mean? But it's always that one melody that SoundCloud would be like, oh, you can't have that. You know what I mean? But it's just the acapellas, whatever it may be. It's just I don't know, dude. It's fucking weird.
What's
I've
the
never
worst?
understood it.
Yeah, what's the worst is when someone like if I don't really use like free for profit beats, but my friend would use a free for profit beat, And then when he would upload it to SoundCloud, somebody would have already used that beat but licensed their song with the beat on it, so they're licensing a beat that is not theirs. So when they
Yeah.
license it and it automatically gets striked, they're like wrongfully licensing something they don't own. So then a lot of people, when they use free for profit beats, it gets claimed and removed wrongfully because the person that didn't make the beat, like it was like some fucking Russian bloke used the beat and then they just fucking like they claimed it and like removed it or some shit because they rapped on it first.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
I
that shit
tell
pissed
you,
me
God,
off.
it's stuff like that too. Like even when I was like using free for whatever, like free type beats or whatever, it's like I always knew, like early on, I was like, someone's probably already gotten on this, and then I would hear like a song on the same beat and it'll be better, and I'm just like, ah, shit, I can't use that. You know what I mean? But then like, they started like using like sold or stuff like that, and it was just like, okay, I can't use that beat now. But it's I had one experience with the free for profit beat, and it was literally that. But when it was literally the exact same thing because it was some fucking foreigner who was just like, sending me emails and shit, being like, take down that fucking song, bro, or I'm gonna fucking sue you. And I'm like, how? You're all the way in fucking Germany, bro. What are you talking about suing me for, man? You know what I mean? So, it's something I've never under like grasped because it's just like you know, I always believe like growing up, and I was taught this like, nothing is like free, The price is either, for free type beats, someone's already gotten on it, or shit quality free for profit, someone's already gotten on it, they're harassing you through email now or shit like that. And then it's like obvious shit like, oh, I'll go to a producer and be like, hey, can I like, buy like an exclusive off you? Can you like do like custom? Can I just like lease a beat from you? Or like, yeah, sure, whatever. Um, so I mean that's more of the straightforward shit to go, but then it's weird because like I would have like these small moral dilemmas of like using free type beats
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh man, it makes me feel type. It's like, oh man, this isn't really me, but I feel like I have to get on it because I don't have any fucking content out and shit, man. So I mean, it's fucked, and it's kind of, I don't know, dude. I see less people doing it now than early, when I
It's
started
so
doing it.
easy to link up with a producer online. It's very
Mm-hmm.
easy. And like people nowadays, it's not like it's a lot of money to like buy a beat off someone unless they're like an elitist. Like
And
people
that's the thing
people
too.
sell beats
People
for
are.
like I sell beats for like $5, bro. Like you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's a very good community. It's very open.
Yeah, and I mean it's so easy to get clicked up too and shit. I mean I've made only like one sale and shit because I never push out like my marketing for like, oh, I'm selling these beats and stuff, but I sold one beat to one person, and then like I was just like, whatever about that, I don't really care. But then like I would also like, and that's where the more dilemma comes in because I'm like, do I sell my beat or do I continue emailing people that I fuck with and be like, hey, like, can you check out this beat if you like it? Can you get on it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll always be like, oh yeah, like I fuck with it. I'll get on it when I can. I'm just like, like I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm waiting for
yeah.
the at. I'm waiting for the at. But and it's like I said, it's so easy to get clicked up with people nowadays too. And I think I feel like that's a good thing now more than it is a bad thing. Um, because and especially like in the funk community, you have new artists going on Memphis every single day. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it of course they're gonna be like, "Oh, you a new artist too? Oh, and you in the tri-state area? Like I fuck with you, bro. Like let's do some shit." You know what I'm saying? And that was genuine shit right there. That was like, and I want to say that was kind of like what it was between me and Sly because it was just like, oh, like you in my area, like I fuck with that shit. It's so it's so better to link with people in your area. Normally, I stress out the normally because there are some fucking knuckleheads here too, but it's just it's so nice to work with some. Like if you in California, there's a shit ton of funk artists in California.
Yeah, I'm
You
about
in
to go out
Texas,
there. Like literally, I'm about to go there tomorrow to just hang out with my friends that I make music with online. Like literally for five
right?
days.
And it's so there's so many fucking, and I'm always like in my head, I'm like, does Lil Boudang hang out with Hellhound Militia? Does fucking
Yeah,
does 6 Foot Slim hang out with like all the other guys, like stuff like that? And it's just like even in Texas, like like I know
Texas.
Polygon.
Yeah,
It's like I know Polygon and Little Wretched hang out, but it's just like do all these other people hang out and shit like that? But meanwhile, you see it in Georgia, and it's just like We got me, we got Sly, we got APOC, we got DJ Killer C. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, Chosen's from like a county next to mine and shit like that, but like he's in Jackson now. Burns, he claims Georgia too and shit. It's shit like that where it's just like, man, we don't got a lot of shit going on
When'd
for
you
us
get clicked
too.
up though? When'd you get clicked up with them in Appalachia?
Um, that was around. That was probably like I want to say. I feel like it was April. And I suck at dates, so like I want to say it was April, but like it was literally me and Sly just like like Chosen was like hopping on Sly beats and he was like like he's a cool ass dude, like I think we should like check him out. I'm like, yeah, I agree, we should do that. And we bring him into the fold and stuff like that. But before him, we got burned because his shit like I forgot what the interaction was because I thought I feel oh god, what was it? It okay, I remember it. So he commented on a song of mine on SoundCloud, and he was like, "Much love from like insert city in Georgia," and I was like, like fuck yeah. So I click on his profile and shit, and he's got some shit up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, like dude, prayers have been answered. You know what I mean? Like that's it. We found someone from our area. And he's like, he was out of state at the time, which is like, like we fuck with you, and we asked him like, do you want to be part of this group? Like, and I showed like his beats aside, he was like, yo, like this shit's actually pretty fucking dope. Um, and so it's just, he was like the first member of like, but beside like between us two, or he was the first member we brought in outside of me and Slide. Then we brought in Chosen and stuff like that, and it's been like that ever since. But like, even then, like I've had the idea in my head for so long because like I would be in collectives and shit, right? And I'll put like collectives in quotation marks because what it was like it'll be these like these kids, and I was a kid at the time too, but they'll be like 15, 16 years old making songs and shit. Meanwhile, my ass is just like, hey, y'all trying to like work together or some shit, bro? And then like we'll work together, and then we'll keep working together, and then we'll bring another friend and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But like over time, it's just like how you grow as an artist. That's you as the artist. But the interaction between everyone in the group, that's just it changes, and like shit gets sour, shit gets stale. People had different interests, and some people are just they don't fuck with it. I was in a group. Not even in the first week, we have 5 people in this shit. The only thing about it was that we were all like literally in the same area. We were all like literally in the same county. But it was at the end of the day, it was just me and another guy just doing the rapping and producing, and all the other 3 people were just like, I can't make it out today. My grandma's being a bitch to me. Like, I can't do anything today. Like, oh man. We had to entice one motherfucker with a pizza party, and we never gave that shit to him because like I was just like, you know what, dude, I'm done with it. You know what I mean? So, um, but shit like that where it's just like shit fizzles out. People don't have the same mindset as you do, and when they do, they'll either go in a different direction that you don't want to go in. So of course you have to like split off and shit because that shit just doesn't end in the best way that it can end. Um, and then there's always like the inner drama, like the internal drama between everybody, and it's such a fucking hassle, dude. Um,
What's the plan for
but it's just
Appalachia though? Like, what's the
hmm,
plan? How's it going with Appalachia, like compared to your other groups?
taking from like what I learned from those groups and like taking it to now and like taking the knowledge that like me and Sly have given each other and like in the beginning and stuff. Like we're just like, here's what we're not going to do with the group. We're not going to rush it and stuff like that. Um, so it was just like every person that we brought in burned 12 gauge 2 at the time and shows, and we're just like just the only thing you guys need to do is like keep it in your bio, you know what I'm saying, like, and people will see this guy has Appalachian in his bio, this guy has Appalachian in his bio, what is this all about, you know what I'm saying. The plan right now is to get like an official track going to like start the like solidification of the group and stuff like that, because it's just an idea right now. People are repping that shit, and I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Appalachia. I want it to be something that can bring the Southeast, like together and like, so people don't focus so much on Texas or California like they always do, but it's just
Yeah.
like, nah, bro, like we got shit going on in Georgia too, bro. Like just like pay attention to it just a
Yeah.
little bit, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I ever wanted. I wanted artists like Cheddar, like Jay Green, like Black Spurf to be like, I want to go to Atlanta. Oh, you want a Portland day too? Nah, I want to go to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I want that shit because I'm just like, these guys are like these smaller artists, these smaller underground artists like Cheddar and Jay Green. Not, I don't give a shit about Suicide Boys. I don't give a shit about 3-6. I want people like Jay Green, like Black Spurf, like Kerbal to be like, I want to go to Atlanta and I want these guys to open for us. You know what I'm saying? Because people need that shit. Because Atlanta is so fucking filled with like the trap and shit like that, bro. Every fucking block in Atlanta has a fucking trap artist, man. It's so fucking dumb, dude. And it's just like, dude, it's tiring because they're all the same, you know.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Hey, bro, you fuck with that Raul Rodriguez album?" I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck you're talking about, bro. Just hop on the beat. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll hear the beat and be like, "What is this turn down, slow down shit, bro? I don't fuck with this shit like that, bro." But they want to rap with Lil Dicky. They want to rap with like Fredo Santana.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
want to
yeah.
rap with it's like, dude. Oh my god, you guys are the most basic people that I can ever think of, bro. And it pisses me off because, like, you know, trap, like, it started in Atlanta. Like, never mind Memphis rap. I get that we're, like, the style came from, but trap, dude, it came from Atlanta. That is, like, Atlanta shit right there, bro. And people just, they take it, and it's just, like, it's so taken for granted now, and people never pay attention to Atlanta because, like, we got goofy-ass artists now, dude, like, fucking, oh my god, dude, there's wackos like Fetty Wap and shit like that, those singing ass motherfuckers, and I'm just like, nah, bro.
42
It's,
Doug.
yeah, bro. I'm just like, nah, like you
Oh wait,
need
he's from
like,
like Detroit, but still, I know what you mean.
yeah, yeah. It's those singing ass people too, bro. And it's like, oh my god, dude. It's so, like I said, it's tiring because I'm just like, it's so hard to get people to listen to, like, you know old Memphis rap. It's so hard to
The
get them to
old
listen.
SoundCloud wave was way better. Is way better than the new SoundCloud wave.
Mm-hmm. I
Like
know it,
that's just
dude.
like, and it's not just because of like fucking like how Sesh and Schema and like the G5. It's not just because of like old funk shit and that came out. It's more so like even old Lil Uzi was actually really good. I really
Yeah,
liked old Lil Uzi. Drill music, like early drill music,
yeah, dude.
or like old Lil Durk, like Chirac. Like, you fuck around, get smoked. Like the old.
Now they're all, yeah, it's like that too, and then like now you got Lil Uzi with the fucking diamond in his head, like that motherfucker from like the Marvel movies, and you got Lil Durk talking about getting like fucked in his asshole and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's such
Lil
a
Durk's
fucking
like his old music is like, you fuck around, get smoked, but now it would be like, you fuck around, get smoked.
yeah. Oh my, I don't just, oh my god, dude, it's just like for the life of me, it just sucks. I mean, I'm glad now, like the trap scene in Atlanta is sort of being like not revived, but it's sort of being pushed again by, like, Gucci Mane has like the label 1017, like I'm sure you know of it, but he's got artists like fucking like Fujiano and shit, dude. Like I know people who know him, and like this is like real fucking shit right here, bro. Never mind the hate of the auto tune. Like use it when you need it, but it's real Atlanta shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just again, it's so fucking it's exhausting because like I'm tired of like hearing people make Atlanta the butt of every fucking joke
The
on
same
social media.
yeah, the same reason I respect Lil B is the same reason I respect Gucci Mane. He's never really changed it up. Really, he's always consistent in quality and quantity, and he's always like put on for other people that are hella younger. Like the way like Lil B put on for like YNW Melly earlier in his career, and
Yep.
like fucking like put on for like people who like adored him, like fucking Mac Miller and like and
Mm-hmm.
and like fucking other people, like the same way Gucci Mane, like he'll take the time to get Quentin Miller on a song on one of his newer albums. Like I really respect it. Like he got just some guy who's just known as some like ghostwriter for like a couple songs, and
Yeah.
then took the time to put him on a project. I really
Mm-hmm.
respect that from Gucci.
it's just again, he's like, dude, he's probably one of the more genuine artists that like Atlanta's kind of birthed and stuff. You know what I mean? But like, it's weird because like, if you want to like for I'll say this as an example because if you want to compare like Memphis to like Atlanta during the '90s, you know what I mean? For fuck's sake, like Memphis was talking about like fucking chopping up bodies in basements and shit, and like you have Atlanta shit crisscross be like jump jump and shit like that. I get how goofy it can be, but at the same time, the thing about like like Outcast, they'll
Fun.
say
It's fun music.
it's fun exactly like songs like Hey Yeah, fucking Roses, Miss Jackson, shit like that. It's just those are fun songs to listen to. It's not, it doesn't have to be hard, but it's just fun to listen to. You know what I'm saying? It makes you want to like move your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's shit like that. But I can understand like the jump from like Outkast to Gucci Mane, where like you look at his old videos, and he's got a posse of motherfuckers, and like you got these bitches twerking in the parking lots and shit like that, and you got the one guy in the
Bitches with the
wheelchair.
tattoos on their ass and shit.
Exactly, you got the one dude in the wheelchair fucking around with all that shit too, and it's like that's that old shit, bro. And it's all grainy, like the video's just so like bad quality and shit like that too, man. But it's like that's what it was, you know what I'm saying? Now it's just all fucking, oh god, it's all monotone and shit. And it's just it's boring. I mean, I can't as like as an artist in my standing is kind of weird to talk about because I'm like I don't offer anything for like the scene right now. You know what I'm saying? I like to think I would probably in the future, but like right now it's just like I and everyone else have the right to critique our artists from our area. You know what I'm saying? They can be the punching bags. You know what I'm saying? I can criticize like Gucci Mane all I want because like I grew up listening to him. Um, Ask me a question about Dr. Dre and shit, I'll be like, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
But then,
yeah.
like, or a bigger example too is like, you know, my girlfriend's family's from Houston, but if you ask them about like DJ Screw and shit, they'll be like, what? And I'm just like, oh, you, fuck, god damn it! I'm just like they know like South Park Mexican and shit. They know like they may know Lil Kiki, but it's just like, oh, you ask them about DJ Screw, it's over with. Their brains go dead, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, like, God, you
Ask
guys
him
are.
about Viper.
Oh my god, dude.
Bro,
Dude,
I interviewed Viper, bro. He's so funny, yo. He's so funny, dude. Like,
I have like a couple of his songs liked and shit too. He seems like a dope guy, but it's just oh my, it's just man, it's funny because I'll do the same shit. I'll be like, I'll talk to someone like some random ass dude, what I'm saying, talking about music. Hey, bro, you know Muddy Rotten? You fuck like, bro, let me put you on the Muddy Rotten, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, you fuck with Sly? I'll put you on the Sly, bro. Let me put you on the Sly.
I feel
You
like
talking
you
about
gotta
Milo
put
Rotten?
you gotta put people on the Muddy Rotten. Like when you're
That's what I do,
you
bro.
do that, but you don't tell them it's you.
No, dude, literally, so I was working in the restaurant industry for a long ass time, and like, they every fucking like restaurant I worked in, they always have like, the boombox or some shit. They'll have the Bluetooth speaker, and towards the end of the night, customers are gone. I'm just like, now is my chance, bro. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, hey, bro. And when I had a mixtape out called Locals Only. I have a mixtape out called Locals Only, and I was working at B Dubs at the time, and I put my manager, cool ass dude. This dude like he was like this like he was just cool as fuck, bro. Like he'll be dancing the fucking trap music, and he's white as fuck. He'd be doing the weird ass shit like this, and I'm just like, oh man, you goofy, but you cool, bro. But I
yeah,
put him
yeah.
on the like I was like, hey, bro, I'm gonna put you on the Muddy Rotten and shit like that, and I put him onto the song Guantanamo, and he was just like, all right, all right, all right. Then he like, I kept showing him music and shit. And he was like, wait a minute, is this you? I was like, that's Muddy Rotten, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's Muddy Rotten. He was just like, man, you two sound familiar, bro. I like confusing them like that because like I feel like if I told them it was me, they'd be like, oh hell nah, bro. But then, like, I was working at Hooters at the time, and I when I had my first show, I showed people the video of it, and they're just like, hell yeah, bro, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was genuine, but it made me happy at the time, you know what I'm saying? Um, and those guys I worked with at Hooters, especially, like, dude, they would support the fuck out of it, you know what I'm saying? if I needed a day off to like, work on music, they'd be like, fuck yeah, like we got you and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And like, the girls were like really receptive to it too, and I was like, man, I really appreciate everyone there that was like kind of like lifting me up to do it. So, yeah, man, it was fucking dope.
So what do you got planned for like music in your solo career that you could announce?
Probably more production. As of right now, like, dude, my free time is just like so fucking limited. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't have shit. I just I can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? I work a full time job. Obviously I like, got the gun shit going on. Fucking got a girlfriend, got a family life. And then next year I'm about to start school, so it's gonna be even worse. But like I figured like if I'm doing that for 2 years, I might as well get back into my production skills. And like I dropped the beat tape out a couple days ago. I'm like I might as well do more of that shit.
What
Um,
you going to school for?
Welding.
That's is that like is that related to the job that you're working at now, or is it just completely different?
So what it's all metal. So what I'm doing is like I work a heat treatment job. I specialize in flame hardening. So like I'll take like say this is like this cup's a piece of metal or something. I have to like this part only here has to be hardened, right? So what I'll do is I'll take a torch, however many it needs, and I'll just like harden that side. And like I don't want to like confuse people. Or, like it's I'm not going to get into the chemistry aspect of it, but you get it to a certain temperature, and that's when the austenization comes into play. And it's like it's not melting, but it's hot enough that you can like move it around just enough. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to move it around. So like what you do, it's hot, it's ready to be quenched. You take either oil or water, and usually what I do is water because if those big ass pieces, like
Yeah.
they're fucking hot as fuck. If I put them on oil, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Burn that whole fucking plant. But like the water, it just it you got a piece like this, and like internally it'll bunch up like this and will just make it hard. But it'll also expand too, which is really fucking weird. But um,
It's a
it's stuff like that.
craft.
Hmm?
It's a craft.
It is, man. It's I dude. After like ever since like I started working production jobs, it's just like I've just enjoyed it more and more. And like the place I'm at now, it's fucking dope because like it's a mom and pop place. I'm getting paid good money, and they're not on my ass about everything. You know what I'm saying? They give me projects to do. They give me a due date. They don't give a fuck what I do, dude. I could be fucking playing fucking Clash Royale on my phone for like hours and hours, and they wouldn't care. It's like as long as you get it done, you know what I'm saying? Just that's it. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just I love that. I love the job so far, dude. But next year is going to be like school. Everything's going to be involving metal. I figured like you know there's people that like go to school for the welding, but they'll like get a welding like job or something in the middle of it and be like, like you're going to school for welding. Let's take you under our wing. Let's put you to work and see how you do. Figured if I started doing that, it was like, oh, you work in heat treatment, so you already know how metal works and stuff like that. And I was like, and before this job, I worked at a glass company, and I was like tempering the glass for that too. And I was like, I was a furnace operator, so I understand the concept of heat. I know what heat does to earth, earth materials. Like glass, metal, steel, iron, whatever. I was saying it's all the same concept, but the science is just a little different, especially in the chemistry aspect of which I don't know shit about. Because it's all numbers, it's all diagrams and shit like that. I oh my god, dude, my girlfriend will nerd out over the chemistry aspect of it. I'll be like, "Do you understand what this means?" And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's really dope, dude. I love that job. Like if and I haven't started school yet, but it's weird because I'm like I feel like I just feel like the wheels turning, and I'm just like I'm ready to fucking pound it out. I'm ready to do it. Um, it's just it's go time. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 years to do it. After that, I'm doing whatever. So and welders are always in demand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like I could be anywhere and do that shit. I could be all the way in Alaska. I'd be in Florida. I mean, that's at least what I hear. You know what I'm saying? Something's got to be true. You know what I'm saying? So something's got to work. Um, I have friends who are in the welding shit, and they're just like, dude, you need a place to like, crash for a job or whatever, like let me know and I'll hook you on, especially if like you're serious about it. I'm like, all right. So yeah.
That's
It's
hella inspiring, bro. Like, I might want to get into
it,
the trade, bro.
it's what it was like, yeah, I was so gung ho on joining the military at the time. Not at the time, before, like years before. But I was like, oh, like this is it. Like I'm about to fucking do this. Then they're like, you're a little bit overweight. You have
Ah,
medication. We don't want you. You know what I mean? So it's like,
damn.
oh shit, all right. So then I was just like, I didn't want to go to college because like, just I'll hear the horror stories about that shit. I'm just like, fuck, I don't want to be in debt. You know what I'm saying? Um, but then like people like talk about trade school, how people don't do enough at trade school, and I'm just like, that might be it. You know what I'm saying? The campus is like 15 minutes away from me. Um, it was just it's good shit, man. Like I'm ready to pound it out. Like it's like I said, man, it's go time. Like I'm ready to fucking do this shit. So yeah.
That's nice, bro. Do you have any like things you'd want to announce or anybody you want to shout out before we wrap this up?
I gotta shout out all the members of Appalachia, and Chosen, Burn, like y'all two are fucking amazing, bro. You know, Chosen, hop on Warzone when you can. Your ass is fuck, but I love you.
Hmm.
Uh, Sly, dude, like I said, he's my motherfucking brother. Fucking love that dude to death. Like did that, like just greatest human being I've ever known. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go check him out. If you haven't already. Um, that's it, man. That's all the shout outs I got, man. So
All right, thanks for coming on the show, bro. This is a real good episode. This is like an hour, 15 minutes. This is good.
that's it really.
How would it feel like to you?
Oh, I felt like 30 minutes. It's 10:42 now, man. Shit.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you having me on, Mike. I really appreciate it, bro. You take care.
All right, bro. Thank you so much. And link in the description to your music, your Instagram, all that. And peace out.
Peace out, man.